Previously, on Mighty Car Mods, I bought a SecSpec Evo completely sight unseen off the internet for just $4,000. A complete bargain considering it's built off a JDM front cut from a real Evo 3. And now it's time to get it going again. Working with my mate Tuning Fork, who's an Evo expert and ECU guru, we're taking Twisted back to the glory days and then battling it against another SecSpec car from the same era. 2WISTD, which has been converted to a track car and is now powered by a 2.4 litre big block. But will 2WISTD have what it takes to beat a real Evo, or is it just going to get chopped hard? Today, we continue work on the ultimate SecSpec performance extravaganza that is Twisted. Our first job today is swapping out the spark plugs, seeing what's in there and what condition they're in. Meanwhile, Scotty is going to do what he does best, tidy up some wiring and investigate the ECU. Back in the day, this car made 178 kilowatts at the wheels, but my idea is to replace or upgrade components as I go so that eventually it could make even more, running on E85 or maybe even a bigger turbo. But my first priority is just to see if it even works at all, because I've never even started this thing, let alone driven it. How you going in there, Scotty?
I'm going pretty good. I've got a little bit of a surprise for you.
Oh!
This was all just a little bit too complicated with too much early 2000s stuff. So, Marty's got an aftermarket ECU, you may as well.
Well, you are the tuning fork. Yes, that's what I want to see.
I can't do
Look at that.
So I thought I'll just quickly sneak one in.
Oh, quickly sneak it in. Is that like a 20-year upgrade of technology or more?
So I've looked at the part number for this just before on my phone. So this is an Evo 1 ECU.
Yeah.
So all I've done is
So
just
what
set
year
up.
is that?
Oh, that's a good question. GSR Lancer and Evo 1. It's got to be like mid-90s.
Early 90s?
92, 93, something like that. So all we're going to do is just replace it with a plug-in setup, and then I'm just going to go through with the laptop, because I can communicate with the Haltech. With this, I can't diagnose anything.
Yeah.
So I'll see what's
And so that's
wrong.
a Elite 1000, is it?
So this is an Elite 1000, so it's going to do just the engine.
Yeah.
It's going to do the boost control as well, because...
And the subs.
There's not much integration. There's not much...
With car stereos?
No. We'll do the flex fuel. I'm interested in that. So.
Yeah, cool. Which is amazing. So that's a 25-year jump in technology.
Yeah.
So that helps us like even further into the lead in front of 2WISTD. What ECU's 2WISTD got, do you remember?
I think that's got an Elite 1500 because he might have wanted to put an electronic throttle on it.
Yeah, okay.
But it doesn't matter what ECU he's got.
My man.
He hasn't got a hope.
Tuning Fork is right. Marty hasn't got a hope against the 4G63, which is a bulletproof engine capable of making supercar slaying power. But that's assuming that our one actually works, and it smells like it doesn't. Smell that one. Super fuely. Like super fuely. The rest of them were dry-ish.
That's exactly what you don't want it to look like.
Wet and black.
This is the bad bit. Put them in. Let's try and run the thing. This tells me that. What do you say? The other three were like reasonable?
The other three were dry. I mean, they're black, but there's a bit of.
It's sooty.
Yeah.
This one is not sooty.
That one's black and wet.
That means the fuel's been going in. So hopefully it had no spark, because to get it to go, we need fuel, we need spark, and we need compression.
Yes.
This one's had fuel. Which
means it either has no compression or no spark.
Hope it had no spark. That's easy.
It had spark, didn't it? Look, I mean, this is the process. When you buy an $80,000 supercar for less than $80,000, sometimes not everything's going to be perfect. But you know, like that's what we do. We explore, we discover, we take these lovely friends with us on this journey. It's not going to start, is it?
I don't know.
I'm now thinking it's just not going to start, but that's the wrong mindset. We've got to stay positive. Don't people say think positive, like that makes a difference?
I don't know whether you're trying to...
like really hungry and you think positive, suddenly you'll get some food?
Definitely not.
You know, or ask the universe.
If
you ask the universe for a job raise or a pay raise, you'll get one. Hey, universe, why don't you go fix the poverty, famine and war first, and then get back to our pay rises and making sure we've got our Jeeps.
And compression.
So there is no power going to the car. Now this battery here has probably had a pretty savage life and has been in there for who knows how long. Now when we stick a multimeter on this, we can see that that is getting about 3 volts. It's meant to be having 12, so that is completely cactus, but I do have a replacement. This is a Century battery, which is made in Australia, and Century are proud sponsors of Mighty Car Mods. Now we've had these batteries in the 240, in Supergramps, in the Mini, and so this is going in, and this is kind of the last piece of the puzzle. Once we've got power going to everything, and now that Scotty has done the Haltech ECU, we should actually be ready to plug some laptops in and see whether this car is going to start at all. Now, these batteries do have a little indicator on the top here that either says the battery's okay, add water or recharge. This one doesn't say anything because it's just completely shagged. The other thing of note is that on the negative terminal, someone has put a positive clamp, which I don't know if that's like, the Goonies, where you're kind of down looking for the treasure and they put like a trap there, but it has 2 positive terminals on it. It's possible that during the time of this car's life, it's also meant that people have put them on the wrong side. It's confusing. But rather than fix it, we're just gonna leave it because that is not getting in the way of starting the car right now. So I'm gonna get rid of that battery, put the replacement in, we plug the ECU into the laptop, log on, see what we can get to happen, and then we will be turning the key today, ladies and gentlemen, and there will be all-wheel drive shed skids out the wazoo. So there are a few extraneous wires and things connected to this battery, and some of them, like this orange one, you're wondering where it goes, and then when you look closely, it's not actually connected to anything. This end is connected to nothing. Oops. That's where your 10 mils go. This end is not connected to anything. It's just tied on there. So it's a bit of a mystery, but we can tidy that up a little bit and just get rid of it. Unless it was just running. Actually, I don't know. I have no idea what was going on there.
If you want to check the voltage of your battery at home, 12.6 volts or above is fully charged. 12.5 is still healthy, but between 12.1 and 12.4 you should recharge it. 12 volts or below means the battery may be permanently affected, and our one was absolutely cactus.
So make sure that you remove these. In quite a few cases, people have put their terminals on to here, the clamps, and then realised that their car doesn't start, and it's because they didn't remove those. You would think that doesn't happen, but that happens because it's on the internet. It's actually a thing. So make sure you remove them first.
With the new battery in and securely clamped down, install the positive cable first, then the negative, and now we're ready to turn the key.
All right, so with those on, we now should be seeing a way healthier voltage, and we've got, look at that, 12.8. Happy days, Mr. Hillzinger.
Can we just get in there yet?
We can now get in there. There is nothing between your laptop and this car now. Nothing.
All right. Well,
this is it.
Get in, get some cables in.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I like how the seats are already set up the way they need to be as well. Just laid back so far. That's just how they have to stay, don't they?
I think we're ready.
Turning the key. Well done.
Okay.
We have a primed fuel pump. There's an oil light and a battery light on, but that's just because they need to be.
We are going online, so that's telling us that the ECU's powered up.
So we know our battery works and the ECU works, which are the 2 things that are brand new. And the fuel pump that we changed. Everything we've done so far works. The dash works. Look at this.
Fully auto.
At this point, Scotty gets going on his wizard-like skills of automotive telepathy to make our new Haltech ECU talk to Twisted and get everything calibrated and ready for the domination of Too Sexy.
So we've set the throttle position.
Yep, so we've calibrated the throttle position sensor, so we know that's working.
Yep.
The air temp, the coolant temp, they're working.
Okay.
Our manifold pressure sensor is reading correctly. So at the moment, there's not that much left to do. What we're going to do is turn the fuel injectors off. So if I go up here, go disable injectors, because what I want to do is crank the engine for, so I'm going to reset that because that's a big change. So now that I reset it, the injectors are turned off now.
Yeah, okay.
So what I'm going to do is go into my diagnostics page. There's this thing here that shows us crank and cam position sensors and what they're reading.
Yes.
I've got no idea what's in the car, so if we crank it for about 10 seconds, this is going to give me the information I need to know whether they're wired in sort of the right position.
So we're cranking now?
Yep, and I don't expect it to do anything.
Okay. Well, here we go, everybody.
Full running, cranking at 165 RPM. Sort of. All right.
So this is good.
That's brilliant. So it's so brilliant. All I'm going to do, we're going to turn the injectors back on. Tells me to reset. Okay. Then.
Don't tell me now the injectors are on. We're starting the car. Don't even.
The injectors
just
are on.
don't.
There's not much left.
No, don't. Don't get me all.
Are you nervous?
No, I'm excited. I care enough about this car to be excited, and I don't care enough about it to be scared. I'm riding the perfect wave right now.
All right. So at the moment, definitely early days, but we're going to try and start it. I've got no idea. I don't know what injectors are in it. I don't know the state of the fuel that's in it. Have we got the back door open a little bit?
Yeah, I'll organise that. Yep.
So if we got the back door open a bit, because basically what we would want to happen is start it. You use the throttle, do whatever you can to keep it running. Once it starts, we want to get it to about 1500 RPM.
Yeah.
It will be smoky and it will do some funny stuff.
Okay.
And then I'm going to muck around until it sort of clears up and it's nice.
Yep.
And then that's it. We warm it up and see what's leaking. You use some throttle, first start, whatever it takes to try and get it to go.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's got spark.
Okay. So this is where we're at. We're definitely getting spark, but it appears that maybe we're not getting fuel. So to kind of rule that out or give us a bit of an indication of what's going on, we're going to do some throttle and carby cleaner. We've taken off the intake hose here, and Scotty is going to spray that directly into here while I crank it, and then if we actually hear it cough and splutter, then we know that it's getting what it needs to get, and then we just chase back the fuel, which could have been an issue with the fuel pump we put in or something. I mean, it does appear to be priming, but this will give us an indication of what it is exactly that's making it not work. So I'll give that to you, and tell me when, and I'll give it a crank, and hopefully we hear some coughs and splutters. Tell me when, mate.
All right, so I'm just going to hold the throttle open.
Yep.
Give it a go.
All right.
It's going to run.
It's going to run.
It's going to run. Why no fuel? What's going on? The easiest thing, let's take the feed off the rail. We'll put it into a fuel-safe container, turn the ignition on and prove that we've got fuel going into the fuel rail.
Love your work.
And we'll start from there.
Perfect.
That noise though.
Yeah. That's the sound of. That's the sound of two sexy getting smoked.
Because
yes.
A little bit stressful without just proving this is good so far. So, all right.
We're removing the feed from the fuel rail to make sure there's actually petrol getting up to the injectors.
Okay, so we know that it starts once we get some kind of carby cleaner through here. We know that it's sparking. The next test is to actually make sure there's fuel coming through. So this is our high pressure fuel line. We're just going to stick a bottle over the end of it. We're going to crank it. Petrol should come out the end of that. If it doesn't, it's fuel tank out and it's all my fault. And that's cool. If it does, then the mystery will continue. Ignition on, hopefully fuel comes out. Fuel?
Nothing's going on.
No fuel?
Did you hear the fuel pump prime in the back?
No. Nope, not priming.
We did hear it prime quite a few times before, right?
It's not priming anymore.
Okay, have we popped a fuel pump fuse? So this is good. because...
Oh, wait on, let me try now. I just heard a click in here, like the sound of a relay.
Hang on, whenever you're ready. No, I can hear the idle control motor calibrating, so I know that the engine's got like electrical power.
Yep.
I wonder if we have popped a fuel pump fuse somehow.
The electrical system is all over the place in this car with dodgy wiring and makeshift fuses. So this is not going to be an easy fix if it is an electrical issue.
So everybody, this is where we're at. A lot was done today, but what we do know now is that there's no fuel coming through. It definitely primed a number of times, but now it's not. So it's probably blown a fuse, or at least that is what we suspect.
We think that simplest case, it's blown a fuse, which seems like such a simple problem to have, but then because of how much stereo is in this car, you climb under the dash, there are so many wires and so many fuses and
it's a mess.
Fuse holders, and the fuse holder that was in the engine bay has been deleted or moved. So
it's a bit of a mystery, and we also, in a very, very simple way, we just don't have any fuses here, so we can start pulling them out and trying to like swap them around to try things. But what we actually need to do is we need to go down to Super Cheap. We need to get some fuses. We need to do some research about at least like the stock position of like whatever is in there, which looks like some strange mess of fuse hell. We need to investigate that, and it's either that fixes it or it was something else that was my fault to do with the fuel pump. Don't try and be polite.
No, good work, mate. I don't think there was any drama. As it did run after you touched it.
Yeah.
Then it didn't. The good news is that
it turned over.
It turns over. The dash everything stays alive. Spraying it gave us a bit of hope.
This is true. That's true. So we'll get to it, and next time, which will be very soon, because we're going to keep working on this right now, next time you are going to see Twisted start and do some all-wheel drive burnouts straight out the shed, straight to the racetrack, and just smoke too sexy. Smoke it in a big, twisted pipe. Scotty, thank you for coming down today.
Man, thanks very much for having us, as always.
I'll order some dinner and we'll hang out for a while, and then I know we'll probably see you tomorrow as well.
If these fuses, we'll go fuse hunting.
Yeah, awesome. Let's do it. All right, thanks everybody. See you later. Actually, we should hit up Wishbone and get some dinner. That's what we should do.